Hello, and this is Jaron. Welcome to the Frost Army. This is cycle 41. We are at 16 dupes right now. We're going up to 40. I've got the seal of approval from the dupes that everything is doing well. Wait a minute. That's a seal of approval? Anyways, in the last episode, I've been working on a few stables. We've got some stables for the flocks. We've got stables for the Bamas. And I don't have this ready yet, but we're preparing some stables for spigot seals. And that's so I can grow some of this plume squash. Alright, well, starting now, I think the project is to do greater exploration. I've gone up as this far in this top part of the base. I have gone into the spigot seal area over here just to get a few of those bonbon trees. I haven't actually accessed any geysers. We'll be doing that shortly, but I have gotten out and found a good ethanol source. That'll keep these plume squash growing until we can produce our own. In the downwards direction, we made some progress, but we've got to get much further. And then over here, in this direction, a little bit of exploration. So I'll make a plan to get exploring a little bit further, and then we'll get started. My next move is to start to clear out a spot down here, add in a few more fire poles, and then start to create a layer so we can push this liquid off so this liquid doesn't follow us as we continue digging down. Starting cycle 42 off doing two things. One, we're moving some material over to the left so that when I have to go get it, I don't have to have my dupes go all the way down here and then continue to go down as we dig down. Also, as I mentioned earlier, just making sure that water doesn't follow us as we go down. We're also going to eventually create a little cavity here for liquid. We'll see if we can get some of this water weed growing. Seems to be the right temperature, though it is around cold area. So we'll see if that's going to actually grow or not. Just waiting for a little liquid to clear off this platform before I continue on. In the meantime, I've got a plan to get a metal refinery going. And I've got some automated lights going in, some storage of input and outputs, and of course a liquid and output line that's going to be insulated. I have to do some workarounds to deal with how I've set up my pipelines around here. But ultimately I'm going to be feeding coolant in the form of ethanol way over here. And I'm not going to bother to insulate until I get about to this point or so. So we'll see how this works when it all goes alive. We've got our 17th dupe. This is Zap, who's going to help out with some of the operating. And eventually getting to the mechatronics engineering skill, though I do have one dupe that has that. We have egg removal automation from these stables. A little bit more on the automation front. I just installed a cycle sensor here to figure out when my dupe that I want to run the incubator is going to wake up. I'm going to be notified, and I'm only going to concentrate on these big bambini eggs because I'd like to expand. Actually, let's have a look at how many critters we've got. I've got 4. I'm wanting to up this to 6, and over here I'm not as in big rush, but we've got 5. Might as well get actually we see a few of these guys running. Once they're in adults, we'll go up to 8 critters for the flocks. It's my first alert that it is egg time here. So we're going to get Wrangle to go in here and tend to some bambini eggs. At the same time, I see this flocks is now an adult, so we'll set them to go down to that stable there. Wait. Oh. These eggs are already little, but I guess I'll have to ignore this one. We'll do this on the next cycle then. Good setup nonetheless, though. Starting to make progress over here. Oxygen's probably not that great, though opening this will give us a little bit more time. But we're really struggling. I'll switch to gas masks, but I'll see if I can get this made without it. Everything is in place except for we just need the last little bit of the pipe. But we're starting the process of sending some ethanol. Just a few bridges right here, and we'll be able to be complete. Making a crafting station, because I want the dupes to actually go back in the area. I'm going to put a gas max station somewhere around here. And then I'm going to build a path up way to here where I can pump out lots of hydrogen for power. Now that we've got a metal refinery, that will be very useful to have. Towards the bottom of the base, I've reached another neural vacillator. So we'll get one of the dupes to go in there. I'll just drain this out of liquid first. I think it's time for another dupe too. The 18th dupe to join the Frost army here, Planto. They're going to be getting crop tending skills eventually. And they'll be able to help out, because I don't see, actually, not only that, an expanding amount of pike apple that we're growing. Let me just make sure that this is selected over here. And I see a lot of plants that don't have the farmer's touch, so hopefully once this new dupe gets a skill to be able to do that, that's going to help. I am prioritizing the plume squash though, so I should see farmer's touch on everything here. We do, that's a good sign. I selected left to use our second neuro vacillator. We'll see what skill they get. They've got a beefsteak. Actually, this is quite nice. They've got a +10 to strength. Actually, just curious with that lift, who is already the strength dupe, has a 22 strength. Wow. Next project is to get the gas masks together. So I'm just going to have 4 stations to start with. Plus, we're going to generate 4 gas masks over here in our little crafting station. Then we'll be able to get out in this area without the worrying about all the carbon dioxide and low oxygen that's down there to take advantage of these Saturn critter traps. This asteroid has a lot of geysers around this top right corner, so we're going to start to find out what they are. We've got one here, one down here, one down here, and then one over here. So that's 4 geysers that we'll figure out. I haven't actually figured out what any of my geysers are. Plus, I'm going to have one that I've been ignoring over in this little zone as well. Got a plan, now that we've got some gas masks ready to go, to start to throw some of this ethanol, which doesn't free... Oh yeah, no, it'll turn to liquid within this little spot here, which is good, because what I want to do is prevent the hydrogen from escaping and bombing out to my base. I also have a little bit of extra space to put in some Atmo suits. We'll do that once this area here is created. Digging teams have arrived. We've got a problem. Notice that water has been piling up here, and it seems like we've had a little bit of an outage in power. I've disabled these guys so they don't get an upgrade or tune-up. A little warm coat here to give out. But we've got a good amount of hydrogen. I think the problem is we just don't have enough hydrogen generators, so we're going to throw 2 more of those in. Make this, at least one of them, a priority action. So we can keep everything running nicely. Rock has gone and uncovered the first geyser. It is a chlorine gas vent. Probably not going to be useful for a good while, but there it is. Blast opening a path to this geyser. Are they going to be able to hold their breath long enough to figure out what it is? Maybe not. Take a quick breath. Then let's get back to it, blast, if you can. What is our second geyser? What could it be? Cool slush. Okay, that one actually probably will be useful. Knowing that we have at least one geyser that's useful in this area, I decided let's put in some gas masks, because I suspect I'm going to want to dig some of those out, at least that cool saltwater geyser. Let's go check how progress is going on over here. A little bit more digging. Things are going well, though. A little bit of chlorine spill. Maybe I should have actually dug down there to let that collect. Oh well, maybe a little late now, but we'll do a mop up before dupes get their feet wet continuously. Oh! Is there any issue with ethanol, or rather, liquid chlorine? Yeah. Yeah, there definitely is. Ah, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna have to take some action here, I think. So after looking at this problem, I decided, you know what, I was thinking of making a snow wall on top, but things are eventually going to get warmed up in here. This chlorine is going to turn to a gas. I'm just going to lower the pump for the time being to prevent ethanol from making its way, or not ethanol, rather chlorine from making its way into our metal refinery. Someone is really excited to see what this geyser is. Pebble kicking away some rocks and finding a carbon dioxide geyser. Okay, probably not going to be that useful. We found some other geysers here. Here's a steam geyser. This one's going to be pretty hot stuff. And then another hot temperature copper volcano down here. So I think primarily this guy is going to be our interest. I'm going to wait to have some gas masks ready. Actually, we can start to deliver a few of those now. But I think I'm also going to get a path open to that copper volcano. Wouldn't mind a little bit of copper. Here we are. Back over here, still a little bit more construction left. We're ready to add in some gas masks. And then I'm going to open up a path so we can get some of this cool salt slush. Oh, that's a salt slush. Hold on, wait a minute. What is a cool salt? Oh, yeah, salt slush. Meaning that it's not polluted water. If it was just the slush, it'd be polluted, right? Okay, so yeah, that is that. And then over here, where we already have gas masks, I'm putting in some atmosphere checkpoint. What I'm going to have to remind myself to do, which I may or may not do, we'll see, is to disable the gas masks before I put this on. Otherwise, that setup won't make sense. Let's do a cut right there. And I see that pump, other than the fact that it has no power. Now, does that have no power because we have no hydrogen? Oh, okay. Whoops. I see I made some hydrogen generators, but didn't actually send hydrogen to it. Okay, that should solve that problem. Wouldn't mind a few more warm coats. Let's make 4 more for now. Here's the salt slush geyser being opened up. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do this just to make sure that we don't lose some of the potential of this nice cool liquid coming into our asteroid. I think we've got enough ethanol here to protect ourselves from the hydrogen. And I just realized that we also need some power to the Atmos suits, so just bringing up a little wire for that. Better re-enable this, and we can actually load our first suit. Oh, another dupe time. We have Animal joining us. This is the 19th dupe. They're going to be working in the stables in time. Just checking up here. I think we're going to have to expand the number of barracks we have pretty soon. We're going to be at 20 very, very soon. That's halfway to the number of dupes I plan on getting. We are loading in our first Atmo suit right here. That's good to see. And the next project is to expand the barracks. We do have one cot for the 20th dupe, but for 21 and beyond, we need to expand. So we'll start doing that. Let's also look to see if progress has been made over here. Aha, it has. This cool salt slush stuff, though, is probably freezing to ice. That's okay, as long as it can output material and we can use it later on. I just don't want to lose its great potential. Checking in on my bonbon trees. Some of them are at 20%, 19. I should see some more than that, though. Oh, there's one that's 92%. 21. And what is that? Oh no, that's just a seed. Okay, that's good. Some of the output from the metal refinery making its way back. Coming back at about 3 or so degrees. So we are going to see a warming effect here over time, but we won't lose some of the metal that we're using or losing in the rock crusher. So that's some good news. And I don't certainly mind the power now that I've got 3 hydrogen generators that I actually hooked up. Because we have an excess of hydrogen, because with so many dupes, we've got so much electrolyzers producing hydrogen, plus, of course, eventually we're going to have no issues with hydrogen at all, in the not too distant future. So now I'm actually putting in the hydrogen pump, but it's one of those things that if I don't give this a little protection now, I'm thinking, oh yeah, there's tons of hydrogen. If I come back later, it might warm up. Maybe some of that chlorine will turn to gas and go in my hydrogen generator. So just putting a little bit of automation to prevent that little scenario in the future. I need someone to do a bioscan to open this door. And before we dig down and go any further, we're just going to open up one of these tiles to get some of this liquid out of the way as we continue down and explore what is on the bottom of this little asteroid. See a little bit of polluted water on the floor. My solution here is, instead of trying to mop it up and dealing with freezing, refreezing, we're just going to put mesh tiling everywhere. Oh, Wrangle, you are ready to process some Bimini eggs. Let's go to town. Still have a few pipes over there to get that created, but we don't really have a power situation right now. Lots of hydrogen, so directing the dupes to take out the carbon dioxide that's building up here, along with some of the other gases, so we can push hydrogen or oxygen down to make it a little bit easier to explore. We now have this pump running, taking out some of the carbon dioxide. Throw in another electrolyzer in this zone to get a little bit of oxygen production going. And while this carbon dioxide is waiting to be sucked up and put into a gas reservoir we've got sitting in one of our stables, we've got time to do some more luxurious things. We are making a nature reserve. I actually haven't measured this out to find out if it's too big. Oh, I just see two little tiles I've missed. But if it is too big, we'll have to do some sort of magic to make the numbers fit 120 or less. What I'm doing is I'm taking these 4 wild plants up here. Actually, I've got 5. And putting in a park sign and hoping everything works out that way. This little building is in the way, so we'll take that out and just put in a door here and a mesh tile there. We have our first wild Bimini. I'm going to actually direct that to be put in this stable. See a little bit of mercury that's landed right there, so we'll make that a mesh towel. But I'm figuring, what are we at? We've got 4 critters, and at least one is elderly, so definitely want to replant or repopulate that stable as time goes on. Also wanted to show the fact that I've got this little connection here, prioritizing hydrogen from going down toward in the center of the base, rather than excess that we still need to build over here. But that's a low priority thing as long as we've got lots of hydrogen. So we can continue on with the nature reserve. I'm just going to open a few of these doors as they get created. I noticed there's wood. And I did a whole experiment on bonbon trees earlier, so I should know better. But when you're planting these things, you've got to disable this if you want to actually not have anything harvested. Did we lose this? Ah, we lost that one too. Oh, right. That would explain what's going on over there. Just a few more tiling, and we'll have... Actually, I think we might need to get a ladder. Oh, maybe not. Well, anyway, that might be useful nonetheless. We've got some polluted water down here, and this is actually making polluted oxygen, which is making this pump less efficient. So I'm just going to drain some of that away, maybe seal it off afterwards to prevent the amount of polluted water, or oxygen, well both really, down here. We've got our park sign in place for plants, but we do not have a nature reserve. And as I was oh, it's 128. And I was going to plant some funny doors along the side, and I just realized, that's not connected. So I'm pretty certain that single tile is going to make ourselves a nature reserve around the center of the base. Before I forget, let's open some of these doors, because they don't need to be shut. And if this works, I'm pretty sure it will, this means that everyone's going to have a nature reserve every time they go through the center core, either going up the ladder or down the fire pole. So they should, I seen a nature reserve access on some of the dupes. There it is. We now have a nature reserve. Amazing. We have Saw joining the team. It's going to be a dupe that's going to do some of the construction with some of the other construction-based duplicates. And down here, I don't have any ethanol or seals, but I will eventually, so I'm going to start off by pumping some excess ethanol we're creating into this liquid reservoir that I'm going to create. Nearly have the hydrogen pump running, but I could easily double up the amount of hydrogen. Not that I need it just yet, but I can simply move this guy over there, and I'm pretty sure we'll get 2 of these Saturn traps going. Over in this little area, at some point I am going to expect to get some meat. Dupes can't reach it, so I'm going to get this auto sweeper to pick up all the wild critters meat that they drop over time and drop it right here so the dupes can access it. Nearly have, excuse me, there is the hydrogen pump. And we've doubled up the amount of hydrogen that we're creating. We've got our Atmos suits ready there. I'm just concerned about dupes getting their feet wet when they go in and out of the room. Not that they're going to really go there often, but just making some ladders so that the liquid chlorine can go underneath everyone's feet. Next thing I'm looking into is going up and eventually getting a hydrogen pump up here. But before we do that, let's just get a path this way and dig up without hydrogen so we're not freezing ourselves as we get to the top. I think I'm going to put some gas masks over here to make it easy to breathe as we go up as well. Doing a little bit of digging down. I'm expecting that carbon dioxide is just going to be a little too annoying if we keep building pumps further and further down, so I'm just putting a few gas masks spots there. And then at the top of the base, we're also exploring up. I see we've got a spigot seal here that's laid an egg. So if I get them into our new farm pretty soon, or stable rather, that would be really nice because we've got our bonbon trees growing. Productivity is low. Maybe we should enable a few of these lights to enhance that. Flock Stables is just starting to produce a little bit of meat, which is good and not allowing the dupes to eat that meat. And instead, what we're going to do is be cooking pemmican. Actually, before I do that, I'm probably going to be smart to store some tallow right there. Otherwise, dupes are going to have to go all the way to wherever tallow is. For instance, right here, bring up one piece and send it over here each time that we want to make something rather than bring the whole piece of tallow in the storage bin. So we'll do that. Next dupe, gonna focus on tidying up. We've got Squeaky. So this takes us to 21. We're gonna take a cot over here, and this is where the next 3 dupes are gonna be. Let's take a look down here, making a little bit of progress, ladder and all that. Why don't we start the process of getting fire poles? I see these are all charged up. Maybe it's time to actually cut this system off. Make that the focus before we go down any further. Let's look on top of the base. Okay, I definitely should have come down a little bit further than I did. We are getting hydrogen to follow us up, which is what I was trying to avoid. Definitely going to need some gas masks, I think. See some of the dupes that have gathered some tallow. How much do we have? I guess a single piece. That's alright. Let's get started with pemmican. We are doing some construction down here with gas masks. I so far see some shine bugs. Very curious where the pips are. Oh, there's a pip. Excellent, creating a piece of dirt there. And we should be doing work similar to this up here because we've got gas masks being installed. Just getting to the very top. I'll just make sure that I clear that so they continue along. And I'll make a gas pump for hydrogen up there. Make a direct route up. And then allow the dupes some time to continue exploring way down here. Another geyser uncovered. This is the second copper volcano. We now have a spigot seal in our stable. So let's see, where are we with 50% productivity with all these lights. What I'm going to look at doing is pushing this possibly down to see if we can maximize it. But for now, we just got one spigot seal. So that should be more than enough for the time being. I did plant another bonbon tree over here though. I've reached what I thought was going to be the top where I was going to put a hydrogen pump. I'm going to fill this in because I see we've have a little collapse and we're exposed to space, but we did find the teleportation equipment. I'm going to be sending dupes up in and out here at some point, so I figured having hydrogen at this level may not make sense, so I actually might put the hydrogen pump a little bit higher than I had planned. As I'm exploring up and down, decided I'm curious what is in these two regions, so I'm creating tunnels, both left and right, at this point. Next dupe to join the team is Deco. That's going to be doing some artwork in time. We are getting a tiny bit of brine from this guy here. Most of it's turning ice, but that is heating up the area, even though it is cool liquid that's coming out. But it is heating up the mercury to actually melt it. So we're actually getting mercury, or liquid mercury, from this process for the time being. But because most of this is turning to ice, I'm not having to dig this out too much just yet to prevent it from overpressuring. So as I explore further out, I just want to make sure oxygen has a chance to go and follow the dupes. So just expanding this beyond 2 tiles. We have reached the teleportation equipment. Probably going to wait till the next episode to actually venture into that. Been putting in a ladder here. Just while we've got non-hydrogen, which is really not great to work in a cold area. Just waiting for that fully to be built along with... Oh yeah, we weren't putting our pump there. We're going to put it up here. Get that together before I actually knock this out of place. Let's just go at the bottom of the base. More progress here from side to side. Oh, what room is this? Alright, we've got a lab desk so far. And making more progress down here, but I found a geyser. But I'm just waiting for water to get out of the way before we go in any further. Just realized that this is a room that completely ignored. See some lockers, that's a chance for warm coat. And I think we're going to be able to get another upgrade. Just have to decide who's going to get that. Just make a little path like that so they can get across and get in there. It might be, I think this is going to be the end though. Cycle 60. What have we done? Well, actually, we've done a lot. We've kept, first and foremost, all the excuse me, all the dupes alive, up to 22. 136,000 calories at the moment. Over 100,000 of pike apple. Pemmican is starting to be created. We'll start to get more of that as time goes on. 11,000 at the moment. We reached the teleportation equipment. I'm going to be getting up there. We reached the top and actually been exposed to space. We've got some, realized that I had my bonbon trees harvesting, didn't want that. Now we've got a spigot seal in here, and I've got a plan to get a second one in there, so that should be the case. In fact, I'm taking that from, where's that? Over here. Oh, I see that we're actually stuck. I just want to take that out. But we'll make progress on that. And power definitely should not be an issue. We've got tons and tons of hydrogen. This is really nice at this point of the game to have both these Saturn critter traps generating tons of hydrogen. Not that we had a shortage to begin with, because we've got a lot, in fact, kind of have excess amount. And of course, we've got the good old metal refinery that we can make some metal instead of the rock crusher. And at this point, I'm no longer using the incubator, and remaining eggs can just naturally take care of themselves. Alright, well that is the Frost Army 22 dupes. We are going to 40 in total. I will see you next time, because there is plenty more projects. We are only getting beginning at this point. Oh yeah, and don't forget we discovered a number of geysers, including 2 copper ones, 2 copper volcanoes, and a cool salt slush geyser, which is going to be useful at some point in the game. Alright, well thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you another time. Till then, this is JR playing, Oxygen Not Included.